I welcome you all to the April 2026 edition of the State Address by the Osun Masterminds. As you already know, the State Address is a monthly effort by our coalition of civil society organizations serving as a platform where we analyze, criticize, and or commend government policies that have direct bearing on the welfare of the people of Osun State and Nigeria in general. We have consistently held the State Address, ensuring that we persistently address germane issues in a manner that gets the attention of relevant stakeholders and concerned policymakers. The April 2026 edition will address many issues in the polity and other advice where necessary. We appeal to all concerned to take our recommendations and criticisms in good faith, especially in this critical season of electioneering. Hardship in Nigeria. The current situation in the country does not need any introduction. Survival has become an extreme sport for most Nigerians, and the hardship in the land is almost out of hand. While government statistics seem to be showing improvements in the country's macroeconomics, the life of the average Nigerian has become tougher than it has ever been at any point in our country's history. From food inflation that seems to have gone out of hand, exacerbated by rising insecurity in most agriculturally viable parts of the country, to astronomical fuel costs that have blown the price of everyday commodities out of control, Nigerians have continued to grapple with biting hardship beyond their control. Many civil societies, organizations, including ours, have spoken loudly about the hardship in the land, yet government at all levels seem to be uninterested in taking important steps to ease the hardship that Nigerians face every day. We are using this opportunity to call on the federal government to immediately look at ways to make life easier for the average Nigerian. We must consider ways of immediately lowering the cost of fuel and holistically address insecurity challenges that continue to cripple and disrupt our food supply channels. We also call on state governments to get more proactive. States as federating units have huge roles to play in easing the affairs of everyday people in the country. States are also supposed to allow local governments enjoy autonomy so that they can directly solve the problems of the people. It is time for every arm of and level of government to become more active in solving the problems of our people. The need for peaceful campaigns. We recently saw a disturbing video of an Accord Party supporter displaying a cap seat from an AP supporter here somewhere in Osun State. The action of suppression of another party supporters' free political will is unacceptable and may spiral into a full breakdown of law and order in the event of reprisal actions that may be taken by the other actors. It is this season of campaign for the 2026 governorship election we call on all political actors to respect the choices of other political actors and go about the business of campaign peacefully and with development as the ultimate goal of the campaign. Political leaders must also caution followers to desist from acts that constitute oppression, suppression, intimidation, cyberbullying, violence against persons and groups, and defamation in the season of campaigns. If our collective goal is to develop Osun, then we can all go about the campaign peacefully, decorously, and with respect to the choices of other participants and their supporters. Anyone who fails to uphold these important tenets is deemed an enemy of the people and the state, and we call on all men of good conscience to be on the lookout for such antisocial elements and ensure they face appropriate consequences as the law permits. About the summit of opposition political parties. We keenly follow the summit of opposition political parties that held recently in Ibadan. We can say for a fact that it is commendable that opposition parties are speaking to themselves, exploring ways to put the ruling party on its toes. It is good for our democracy, and we commend them to continue speaking truth to power. However, we condemn in very strong terms some of the spurious claims that were made at the summit, especially those ones capable of inciting violence and undermining the integrity of the electoral umpire, INEC. Opposition politics is not a license to stir up violence and destroy the image of institutions that guarantee the sustenance of our democracy. Opposition politicians must learn that we all have the responsibility of protecting our critical institutions, even while pressing for important reforms. They must also understand that threats of violence will do no harm to the society they hope to govern than good. The people are always at the receiving end of all acts of political violence, and this is why we condemn any suggestions of violence or active promotion of same. We also call on the federal government to ensure that INEC is giving not just its freedom, but the resources that it needs to deliver free, fair, credible, and acceptable elections. Salted but versus Osun government. For a long time, we have heard nothing of the crisis between the Osun state government and the consultant it hired for its self-audit. Salted but also people deserve to know what has become of the audit process. The allegations of corruption against the Osun state government and any resolution that may have been reached, resources expended on the audit process, and all the follow-up actions belong to the people of the state. And we thus deserve to know the situation of things as to speak. Osun State House of Assembly. We have repeatedly demanded answers from the Osun State House of Assembly under Adewale Egbedun about the reason for the abandoned assembly quarters and the assembly gates. These projects have been abandoned for almost 3 years, yet the assembly has offered no explanation to the people of the state. Instead of providing clarity, the speaker of the assembly has gone about arrogantly suppressing the voices of the people, asking questions about his stewardship in the assembly. We ask Speaker Adewale Egbedun again, why is the innovation of the assembly quarters still abandoned to date? What is the cause of the abandonment? Why is he keeping mum when resources is sitting over belong to the people of the state, part of whom we are? Funds have been appropriated annually to the House of Assembly in billions, yet the Assembly has been unable to complete 2 minor projects it embarked upon over 3 years ago. We demand answers, and we hope that this time around, the Speaker and his office will step down from the IOS to engage us. In conclusion, we have spoken as concerned citizens who want the best results for our country and state. We continue to represent the will and desires of the people, and we ask on their behalf to engage critical stakeholders. We do hope our engagement is received as vital contributions, not met with defamation, cyberbullying, and character assassination.